I hear you. Well, everybody's got a gift,
By
right?
the way, there's somebody that's giving away a piano. You know anybody that wants an upright piano? Free.
Yeah, I understand. I don't.
If
But
it's,
let me ask you this. You know this because what? Did
okay,
you get an
there-
email about it?
yes.
Do you know the person who sent the email?
No, but it's on a neighborhood kind of.
Okay. Perhaps it's legit. Just, I have seen
Many that aren't.
the past 5 years or so. No, past year or two.
Penny and I had about 8 years ago. We had a piano that did a great job holding pictures up. Nobody played it, so it took us 3 years to find somebody
That would take it.
that would take it.
Well, a lot of times they do this free piano thing, and people like click on it, and now you're hacked.
Okay.
So just be careful.
If you are interested or someone you
Then,
know
yeah.
that's interested,
I don't
have them
know.
get in touch
Okay.
with me,
All right.
and I'll be the filter.
Thank you.
Okay?
Okay. All right. Men's room. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. So are they.
Well, I need to go out there.
I would. And then what happens is Amanda will come, or Alyssa, one of them will say, okay, now that you're comfortable, let's go in there. Yes. But you'll see, once you get out there, it's kind of nice. Everybody's like sort of gathered, standing up. So it's kind of sweet. It's just awkward how it starts.
Seats, we're going to gather in the foyer.
to welcome Shabbat together.
Hi. Hi, Judy. Leslie, nice to meet you. Oh, really? Oh my gosh. That's funny. That is very. Oh my gosh, that's really funny. Oh, wait, so he's going to play this or I'm going to play this? Okay. But we're not mic'd for this, right? Or we are? Not mic'd.
We're great out here,
Okay,
yeah.
so no mics. You want me to start? Yeah la 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 yeah la 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 la. like we do each week, with the words of Kabbalat Shabbat. Kabbalat Shabbat literally means welcoming the Sabbath. The service of Kabbalat Shabbat was created in the 16th century in the mystical city of Svat. Raise your hand if you've been to Svat. Oh, amazing, wow. Where Jewish poets and mystics imagined Shabbat as a sacred guest, a queen or a bride whom we greet in joy and song. So we begin Kabbalat Shabbat with a series of psalms, each representing one day of the week leading up to Shabbat. And these psalms, full of imagery of poetry and praise and joy, helps us to gradually leave the week behind and prepare for what is to come. So we invite you to open your Sidurim to page 130.
You got it.
As we begin with the words of Lechu Neranana, come let us sing out to God together joyously. We're going to learn a little chant that we sing tonight together. Psalm 95, it goes like this. Lechu Neranana l'Adonai, Nariah letzurishenu, Nikad mafana betoda, bizvirot Nariah lo. Page 135, Romemu. We sing praise to Adonai.
The last three Hebrew lines on the page.
I'm going to teach it to you first. It goes like this. Romemu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. Try that with us. Romemu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. Romemu, 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 Adonai
now we feel ready to welcome the Shabbat bride. Page 138, Lecha Dodi. We'll sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. When we get to verse 9, not yet, we'll stand up and we will turn and face the door to greet the Shabbat bride. 138.
We stay standing for the Baruch Hu, our official call to prayer, page 146.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed.
Words on the screen.
There was evening, there was morning, there was evening, there was morning. Vayhi
You may be seated. 154. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet, and your God is truth. We all know that sinking feeling when we see someone approaching us whom we just do not want to talk to. And before I go on, let me just say that this never happens to me at WRT. But it does sometimes happen at a family engagement, and it might happen to you when you're at work or when you're by the sidelines of your child or grandchild's soccer or baseball game. You see someone, and maybe you even look away. They didn't see you. And yet they come closer and closer to you, and you have to speak to them. According to one of our commentators, that is exactly what happened to Moses last week when he was approached by the daughters of Zelophehad. Not so much because they had bothered him in the past, but because he was so spurned by Korach rising up against him and Aaron that he was calloused towards the random Israelite who wanted to change the law. Now, he sees them coming, and he has that sinking feeling that we all understand. And when they finally get to him, Moses, our commentator writes, is surprisingly open towards them. And as Miranda spoke about last week, he humbly turns towards God for an answer about whether or not these women should inherit the land. Emmanuel Levinas, a French philosopher who also wrote an entire commentary on the Torah, takes a step back at this moment in shock. He says, Didn't Moses just receive the entire Torah on Mount Sinai? Didn't he know all there was to know? You can see him almost launching out of his chair saying, Moses, what are you doing here? Of course, we know what happened. God tells Moses, well, looks like the daughters of Zelophehad have a point, and the law shifts. Adonai Elohechem emet. And your God is truth. And of course, we don't question whether our God has truth. We probably don't even question whether Moses has truth. And Levinas concludes that at this moment, Moses is learning alongside the people. And I'm not sure if we would go this far, but he continues, and he says not only is Moses learning alongside the people, but God is learning alongside the people. Adonai Elohechem emet, and your God is truth. We learn from this that every single person has a truth to share. Of course, God and Moses has truth to share with us, those who we respect and admire, those to whom we look up to. They have truth to share with us. We know that deeply. But it's also those with whom we wish not to speak. It's also those whom we even don't really respect. They also have a truth to share. Adonai Elohechem emet. And your God is truth. And you find it in some of the most unlikely places. We'll continue with Mi Chamocha on page 158.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, ונאמר כפרה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu
Hashmivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim Ushmor tzedkeinu U'moeinu Lechayim u'shalom Be'ata ve'ad olam Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Adonai sfatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Adonai sfatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love.
166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'konei Hakol Ve'zocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem Leman Shemo be'ahava Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai Mechayeh hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia Morid hatal Mechalkel chayim bechesed Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim Somech noflim ve'rofei cholim Umatir asurim Umekayem emunato Lishenei afar Michamocha bal gevurot Umido melech Melech memit umechayeh ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We'll now take a moment for silent prayer and reflection. You may be seated or standing depending on your custom. We in our Sidurim, in our prayer book, have millennia-old tradition in Hebrew and English. And of course, we also have the prayers that are on our hearts today. We'll take a moment for silent prayer.
These are beautiful words by the Israeli poet Leah Goldberg, set to music by our teacher and local Westchester cantor Benji Ellen Schiller. Lamdeni Elohai Barech V'hit Palel. Teach me, O God, a blessing and a prayer. Teach my lips a blessing and a song of praise.
Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Bless my days be as the one before, less routine set my way. Bracha
It is an honor now for me to have the opportunity to provide a little bit of a formal introduction to Cantor Nyren so that you can get to know her and a little bit of what makes her special a little bit better before she offers some words of Torah tonight. A native of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Cantor Leslie Nyren earned her Bachelor of Fine Arts in Vocal Performance and Music Education from Carnegie Mellon University. Her calling to the cantorate began while working at Temple Bethel in Boca Raton, where she discovered the joy of congregational life. She received cantorial ordination and a master's degree in sacred music from the Hebrew Union College, Jewish Institute of Religion in New York City, and completed a unit of clinical pastoral education as a chaplain intern at New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell Medical Center. She comes to us from Temple Emmanuel of Dallas, Texas, the congregation she served from 2013 to 2026. Guided by a deep belief in the power of music to connect and transform, Cantor Nyren creates experiences that bridge tradition and innovation. She curates spaces on the Bima in classrooms and beyond, where Jewish identity, creativity, and spiritual expression come alive. In 2020, she launched Cantor in the Kitsch, a program that brings people together through Jewish food, music, and storytelling. What began as a pandemic project has blossomed into a vibrant platform that weaves flavor, song, and shared tradition into experiences that build community and celebrate the power of memory to nourish both body and soul. And stay tuned, because we will bring a little bit of Cantor in the Kitsch to WRT over the course of this year. Cantor Nyren is an active leader in the American Conference of Cantors and is also a graduate of the Institute for Jewish Spirituality's Clergy Leadership Program. In her free time, Cantor Nyren enjoys biking, traveling, catching a Broadway show — you've come to a good place to do that — exploring new cities, and hosting dinner parties inspired by her latest kitchen experiments. And I'd love now to invite Cantor Nyren to offer a few words of Torah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I want to start by saying how meaningful it is to be standing here with you all tonight, my first Shabbat at WRT, with your incredible community, phenomenal clergy team, and I want to give a special thank you to your amazing Temple President, Steve Maskett. Thank you so much for everything that you did to help us reach this moment. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to working with you. Now that we've arrived in this moment, I find myself thinking a lot about journeys, where they start, the stops along the way, and what it means to arrive somewhere new, carrying all of it with you. This week, we read Matot Maseh, a double portion that closes out the book of Numbers, Bamidbar, which literally means in the wilderness. It's the last stop before Deuteronomy, which is Moses' long farewell to the people he has led for 40 years. The Israelites stand ready to enter the promised land after 40 years of wandering in the desert, just weeks before Moses' death. The generation that left Egypt is gone, and now a new generation, born and raised entirely in the wilderness, stands on the plains of Moab, east of the Jordan River. The promised land is finally in view, and Moses, the great leader who has led them their whole lives, will not cross over with them. It is in this moment, right before a new beginning, that the Torah pauses. Instead of rushing toward the land, Parashat Maseh opens with a full accounting of the road that led them there. 42 stops in the wilderness, named one by one. Ele Maseh b'nei Yisrael. These are the journeys of the Israelites. The Torah didn't need to do this. It could have simply said they wandered and they arrived. Instead, before anyone is allowed to cross into a new place, every stop is named, even the ones where, as far as we can tell, nothing particularly significant may have happened. The founder of the Hasidic movement, the Baal Shem Tov, taught that these 42 encampments are not only the Israelite story. He saw them as an allegory for the 42 stages every person experiences over the course of a lifetime, from the day we are born until we reach what he called the sublime land of life. every detour, every resting place, every hardship along the way in his reading is a necessary step in our own spiritual unfolding. I think that the Baal Shem Tov's teaching and the Torah are both pointing to something essential. Each stop along the journey counts. It's not just about the arrival, but every place we pause along the way, shaping the journey and eventually helping us cross the border to new uncharted lands. Every one of us here tonight has our own list of the metaphorical 42 stops. The childhood memories, the formative summer at camp, the years of training and study that quietly shaped who we are now. We tend to place a lot of emphasis on the destination, the big simcha, the milestone, and certainly these moments are important. But Mas'eh pushes back on that and insists that the ordinary stops along the way are also worth naming, because without them, we couldn't reach the next step in our journey. So tonight, as I share a few stops of my own, I hope you'll find yourself quietly naming some of your own. Journey 1, Pittsburgh. My first stop was Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Born and raised in Squirrel Hill. Any Pittsburgh connections? There's always one. A tight-knit Jewish community I affectionately refer to as Little Jerusalem. You cannot walk down the street in Squirrel Hill without running into someone who was a student in your grandmother's English class or played basketball with your dad at the JCC. I grew up just down the street from my grandparents, who were like a second set of parents to my sister and me. Holidays and weeknight dinners were spent as much at their house as our own. And my grandmother's strong connection to Judaism was most certainly passed on to me. I started at Jewish day school in kindergarten, which instilled in me a strong sense of Jewish identity from a young age. And my family was very active in our Reform congregation, Temple Sinai, where I was the kid who, like Amanda, I bet, and Alyssa, who genuinely loved going to tefillah on Sunday mornings, singing Debbie Friedman and Jeff Klepper melodies with our guitar-playing rabbi, Jamie Gibson. I still fondly recall learning the old chestnut, "Wherever you go, there's always someone Jewish," by Larry Milder. As a middle schooler at St. Edmund's Academy, I loved going to chapel on Thursday mornings too. Group singing, a life lesson from our chaplain, a room full of people simply being together. I didn't have language for it at the time, but that feeling of a community gathering in sacred prayer and song never left me. It was the seed that eventually pointed me toward the cantorate. That seed grew alongside another love, singing. I began voice lessons after becoming bat mitzvah, and by the time I graduated high school, I knew I wanted to pursue vocal performance at Carnegie Mellon University. It was there in college that my voice teacher, Mimi Lerner, of blessed memory, who happened to be a cantor, handed me my first serious piece of Jewish repertoire for my junior recital, Shema Kolenu by Max Helfman, a staple of the classical Reform High Holy Day canon. Something in me was ignited. That piece fueled a real curiosity, a hunger to learn more synagogue music. Journey 2, Boca Raton. My next stop was Boca Raton, Florida, where I dipped my toe in the water, quite literally, trying this whole thing out as a cantorial soloist before ever setting foot in cantorial school. Within about a week at the synagogue, I knew the work was a perfect fit, combining my love of music and Judaism, working with kids, and being part of a sacred community. I felt so lucky to have that experience of serving in a large, thriving congregation before I officially began training to be a cantor. That year and a half in Boca Raton was seminal. It's what helped me understand that the road to the cantorate would be my next step. Journey 3, Hebrew Union College and Israel. My next stop was cantorial at HUC. My year in Israel was one of the most formative of my entire life. Out of a class of 42, I was one of only 3 students who had never been to Israel before. And I fell in love with the land, the people, the essence of the place, of course, the markets, the rhythm of a country that lives on Jewish time and the Jewish calendar. It reshaped how I understood my own Judaism. And since that year, I've tried to infuse Israel education into every part of my cantorate. The music, the culture, the history, the food, helping congregants feel that same spark, that sense of falling in love with the land and the people, has become one of my greatest passions as a cantor. My 5 years at HUC, several of which overlapped with Cantor Kleinman's, were filled with growth, learning, prayer, friendship, and deep self-discovery. Years of honing skills that would continue to blossom long after I left. My greatest takeaway from HUC is that each of us is still learning, still growing, still becoming. Even the Israelites in this week's Torah portion, standing at the very edge of the land after 40 years, are still being taught and formed right up until the border itself. Becoming, it turns out, does not stop when we arrive somewhere new. It just changes shape. Journey 4. Dallas. One of my longest stops, 16 years at Temple Emmanuel, 3 years as a student cantor and 13 full-time. It's where I learned that sacred moments happen just as often in a classroom or a kitchen or beside someone in grief as they do on the bima. It's where Cantor in the Kitsch took shape, a program I created during the pandemic that brings people together through the diversity of Jewish cultures, food, storytelling, and community. I do believe that food is one of the most powerful on-ramps into Jewish life and identity, right alongside prayer and music. Dallas is where I walked alongside families through life cycle moments, b'nai mitzvah, weddings, illness, and loss, all the while learning that people want to feel seen, supported, and connected to something bigger than themselves. And it's where I was continually inspired by the power of the congregational voice, the way a room full of people singing together can lift up our prayer and bring us closer to God, to each other, and to our truest selves. A new arrival, a new journey. And now, here I am, at the latest destination, Westchester Reformed Temple. Like the Israelites in this week's Torah portion, standing at the edge of the land after 40 years, I'm standing at a threshold too, not entirely sure what the year ahead holds, but bringing with me every one of those earlier journeys. Our tradition paused to name each of the 42 stops in our people's travels. So I'm curious, as we begin to get to know one another, what are the stops in your journey? The quiet ones, in addition to the big arrivals. Which stops were most difficult to navigate? Is there one that still feels unresolved or unfinished? And finally, which encampment are you in right now? And what might it be teaching you before you move on to the next one? I would love to continue this conversation with you. Please reach out to me if you'd like to get together in the weeks ahead. I'd so enjoy grabbing a coffee or taking a walk. I am enthusiastically looking forward to being a part of the WRT family and growing together with you, my amazing new clergy staff and lay partners, singing and learning together, showing up for one another in joy and in grief, and adding new stops to all of our journeys. Thank you again for welcoming me to WRT so warmly. I'd like to close tonight with a song that illuminates why this sacred work is important to me, by one of my teachers, Dan Nichols. For the scrape and the pull of the nail on the string, the wish for something better, a heavy sigh brings. For a cracked wooden box, roaring galaxies, and fingertip secrets, calluses set free. For the call and response of the hope I hear, thanks and the trust in a God I don't fear. For my relief in a Holy One of blessing, and my belief in a lifetime of wrestling. This is why I sing. This is why I sing. All I have I bring. This is why I sing. For the flesh and the blood of a body built to feel the daily desire to know something real. For the quiet of twilight, the raw winter air, the riot of thunder, your hands in my hair. For the whispers and screams and the joys of release, the days and the dreams of a house I know peace. For the love from someone who knows enough to leave, and the gift of a life that gives more than I need. This is why I sing. This is why I sing. All I have I bring. This is why I sing. For the sun and the moon and the shadow I cast. For all my tomorrows and yesterdays past. For the rhythm of heartbeat that means I belong. The touch of a feather, the silence in song. This is why I sing. This is why I sing. All I have I bring. This is why I sing.
Yishar Kochech, Cantor. It's true. We are really all on a journey with many different stops along the way, 42 of them to be exact. And many of us have these incredible, wonderful moments of journeying, hopefully all of us. And then, of course, there are moments in our journeys that are real bumps, real challenging points in the road. We'll call to mind anyone who is in need of healing, who is in our hearts tonight, healing of mind, body, or spirit. Our congregation is thinking about Victor and Susan Shedlin, Jeffrey Millman, Stanley Portnow, Naomi Bott-Esther, Tim Sharp, Amy Travis, Elizabeth Schoenfeld, Millie Myman, and Joe Rabinowitz. If there's anyone else on your mind, I'll invite you to share their names with us now. We'll continue with the words of our Misha Beirach, page 371. Refuah Shlema, may all of those names spoken and unspoken find a full, complete, and speedy healing. We'll rise now for the Aleinu, page 586.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, lateit gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשחבים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו 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 אחד.
In the very first moment of our parsha today, we read the words Vayedaber Moshe El Rashi Hamatot Livnei Israel. Moses spoke to the heads of the Israelite tribes. You would think that all of them would be huddled together and there would be no more commentary. You would be wrong. In this moment, our commentator Ramban goes on a long, long tangent about not only each of the heads of the tribes, but where every single tribe stood when they looked upon the Mishkan, the tabernacle. He goes on and on and on and on, and then there's this throwaway line that he says, in order that you would notice when one was missing. All of our journeys at some point come to a close. And we really do notice when a person is missing. Our congregation is missing those who were laid to rest in recent days. Jerome B. White, father of Greg White, Michael Alter, father of Jamie Litt, Mark Schleimer, brother of Madeline Herman Roseman, Henry A. Diamond, son of Janet Diamond, husband of Mirav Diamond, and father of Ethan Diamond. Vivian Jager, mother of Jerry Kasdan, Edward Friedlander, father of Ben Friedlander, Betty Wolf, mother of Larry Wolf, Lila Sealer, mother of Richard Sealer. Goldie Gitlin, mother of Rebecca Eisenberg, and Morgan Weber, cousin of Fred Green. We also remember those who passed around this time of year in years past. Sylvia Abelson, Sheila Altschuler, Jonathan Simon Austin, Marvin Breyer, Max Citron, Alfred Fields, Henry Foreman, Amy Rosenthal, Phyllis Lorraine Gavin, Peter Bradley Gilman, Louis Gingold, Sam Glazer, Selma Glassman, Pearl Levin Goldstein, Howard Teitelbaum, Linda Teitelbaum, Robert Gordon, Michael Greenfield, Alice Hart, Lynn Herbert, Vivian Kaplan, Rabbi Larry Carroll, Marvin D. Kenigsberg, Betty B. Kessler, Jesse Kupferberg, Lawrence Levine, Julius Lewin, Muriel Liebman, Marvin Lipton, Jean Littman, John Mayhew, Jean Menlo, Isabel Morose, Grace Knightish, Melvin Nelson, Edith Oken, Matthew Adam Ptasic, Stephen L. Ross, Joseph Rubens, Isaac Schreier, Anita Serper, Murray Shapiro, Maxwell Schmerler, Seymour Solomon, Max Wallace, Julia Weinberg, Richard Weisberg, Sarah Goldman Wallens. If I inadvertently mispronounce the name of your loved one, or if you have another name to share, I invite you to do so now. In our community, we rise in the following order. If you laid to rest your loved one in the last 7 days, I'll invite you to rise, Shiva. If it was in the last 30 days, please rise, Shloshim. If you laid to rest your loved one in the last year, Shana, I'll invite you to rise. If you're here to commemorate a yard site, please rise. And finally, those who are seated among us, we see our mourners, and as if to embrace them as one community, we rise together. We continue with the words of the Kaddish on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba galau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha brichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru. Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing, and may the way that we move through our world be a blessing upon their memories. You may be seated. We now have some announcements from our esteemed president, Steve Maskett. Here you go.
Thank you. So I have announcements. Shabbat Shalom. I want to thank Tracy Cohn for greeting us so warmly this evening. And tomorrow we have Torah study at 9 a.m. in the Sifriya and on Zoom. Another event is coming up this Sunday, July 19th. It's called Grow Torah Family Farm Day. And I'm sure that's going to be fun. But and of course on July 22nd at 7 p.m. That's at 10 a.m. in the morning, by the way. On Wednesday, July 22nd at 7 p.m. Erev Tisha B'Av service here. That'll be in this space. And on the 29th at 7:30 is Summer Stage. And I'll let you describe an American soundtrack if you want, and Farm Day if you want. But I just want to say, I
will take a pass on and invite all of you to read about in your weekly e-blast. But Summer Stage, I feel well qualified to tell you about. WRT, in partnership with Kolami, as we have been over the past several years, will be hosting this year our Summer Stage concert. We say that there's always bad luck with rain every time WRT hosts it, but that's not happening this summer. This summer, it's going to be 75 degrees and beautiful, and we're all going to sit on the lawn, so please bring a lawn chair, bring a picnic dinner. This year's concert is called An American Soundtrack. We are celebrating America's 250th anniversary with wonderful songs that helped to shape generations of popular culture in America. It's a really, really wonderful set list, and we hope that you will join us again. It is Wednesday, July 29th at 7:30 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Steve, we'll keep you up here with us so that while we sing those together. I'd love to thank as well the wonderful musicians who led our worship this evening. Pete Mallenbrady, Jerome Morris, a very special treat to have you here in the summer. Usually the rest of our band is not with us in the CJL in the summer, and it's a real treat to have you here tonight, Jerome. And we would love to invite the congregation now to please rise as we conclude our service together with mostly giving thanks for all the things that sustain us, and most especially giving thanks for this community that sustains us. We invite you to connect with those around you, and we'll sing together. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Church where I work, if there's extra shit, it's just long. Drives me crazy. I'm like, come on, man. Real pleasure to play with you, bro.
I'm lucky to be playing you.
Great, man. You're great. I think he did. I assume he still has. Although I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, brother. You doing any swimming and stuff like that? That's not your thing so much?
No, swimming, I mean, take my daughter to the pool.
I always want to thank you guys. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. I mean, I love you. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you. I really enjoy it. So thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate that. So this week I got going up. You know Mohonk? Mohonk Newfoundland. It's like a resort on the lake. That kind of castle looking thing. So I got a couple gigs up there, and it's nice because you stay there for a few days. So you can just.
I know there's I was into hiking trails. They got a nice
They got nice trails, that's right.
rock climbing thing.
Yes, that's right. And then right across there's the Shawgunk Mountains, and so people who are like really into rock climbing, they call it the gunks.
The gunks, yes, I've heard
Yeah,
that.
people are hard into that too.
That's nice.
Hi, how you doing, Marcy? It's nice to see you. Well, I'm well, thank you. Great to see you. What? Yeah, busy? Good. So do you kind of backpedal a little bit in the summer? Oh, good. You know, to some extent, yes, and then we do more traveling for gigs. You know, so I always try to organize. You know, like I'm going up to Mohawk, up in Newfoundland. Just going up there this week for several days. Got some gigs and stuff, and then plus just enjoying it. So beautiful up there. But yeah, life is good. It's always good to see you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. It would be great, but I don't think so.
Gotta start a tradition of getting
Although I like not having the bass player.
Well, yeah, I like really appreciate the shit you're doing.
Play some American funk. No, he does not. I mean, I love him, but he does not have that.
I miss it, Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Yeah, we'll have a good time. Oh, I'm okay. I don't need weed actually. Thank you. Summertime. Right? Oh, I'm not on that either. So no. Sitting by the pool, I guess. No, they. That's the way to look at it. Well, I was just saying I'm going up to Mohawk, going up there this coming week to play some gigs and to just be there. And then I'm traveling up to Montreal for some work. Yeah. Oh, no, not the festival. Just there's a club there, so I'm going up there to play. And then that's pretty much it. You know, then working in Europe. Enjoy Maine if